Today I want to talk about the Strava subscription. We all know I love Strava, boom, but do I love it when I have to pay for it? That's a whole different arena. And yes, I only pay for one subscription, which is Spotify. I'm a college student, don't blame me. But is there room for me to pay for that one extra thing? Especially since Strava is promoting it as unlock the most of yourself. It is $12 a month, cheaper if you do an annual plan, and I want to talk about what I found in my free trial that Strava gave to me. They let me in for free. And I understand that every company needs to make money, so I'm not blaming Strava for a subscription or paywalling certain features. I just want to give general commentary on certain features that I think should be free, especially when you compare it to other free running apps, and then other features that, yeah, it's worthy of a paywall. First thing with Strava is that it doesn't give you training plans, but there's a ton of other premium features that you unlock. First off, you unlock this little icon status in your profile image that's similar to like verification on other social media platforms. So people know you got some money and cash to spend and that you're a hardcore Strava user. And it doesn't end there. Getting to some more of the basic features that you get with premium. For one, there's no more pop-ups to subscribe to the plan. It gets away of those pop-ups that come up here and then. And second, you get to look at all the different maps. I don't think I have a screen recording of this, but you get to look at all the trails nearby, similar to all trails. You get to look at like routes based on the time of day, uh, last week of where people are like running in the hot spots in your area. And then, in my opinion, the features I'm about to list, I think should be free. For one, I think setting your mileage goal per week should not be a premium feature. Like, I understand that I'm glad that they allowed the year in sport to be free. That was great. But setting weekly mileage, that's a pretty basic thing. Like, you could do it just in a journal super quick. Oh, I want to run 35 miles in a week. So why not just make that a free feature in the Strava app subscription? Also, looking at your top number one first place achievements are free. But if you want to look at second and third place, that's behind a paywall. Okay. Also, heart rate zones is behind a paywall. Uh, Koros and Garmin do this for free. You don't have to pay monthly for their software. Even the Apple Watch does it now. So Strava paywalling heart rate zones, I disagree with a little bit. I do understand them paywalling relative effort or like your fitness level. But for me, whenever I looked at that fitness level chart, it just did not correlate at all with how I was feeling with my fitness. It had me peaking my fitness last year when I was running my sub 3 marathon, and I felt that way. But like, I also ran like a 17:26 5K a couple months later, and I was still training pretty hard. And it just had me like die off completely. And I feel like almost in that sub 3 shape, yet it doesn't even have me at a comparable level. So I don't really trust that feature from the Strava subscription. I think like the Koros or the Garmin race predictors are more accurate, plus minus, to how you're going to perform on race day. And the last one that I kind of understand is behind a paywall, but still don't really get, is that you see your like Strava window, which is this very famous line that Strava is like almost known for, other than their orange color. And by the way, they just changed their weekly mileage widget from their Strava orange, which is iconic, that orange is them, to this green color. And I just can't understand why. And I don't understand this too. So with Strava, you get that iconic mileage graph. I think it's like, what is it, 3 months? And then outside of that 3 month graph, you can't see your mileage at all unless you pay for it. And then once you do pay for it, you get access to a week, 6 months, a year, all time, and you get like percentages, and it's all nice and beautiful. But that is behind a paywall. And then if you use Nike Run Club, I like that app as well, but that's free there. So I understand Nike has a big shoe business that they pull money from, and Strava is just a software company. So there's some differences there, and I understand why. But some of the features that I totally understand that are behind a paywall, and this was my favorite feature, by the way, is the 3D video that comes from doing a run or a hike. And this is something I could definitely see myself subscribing to in the future, just to grab this awesome 3D video. Like if I'm climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, maybe Everest one day, or some 14 miler in Colorado, if I'm doing this epic hike, I kind of want to see this aerial view with my paces and mileage and heart rate, because it's pretty fascinating to me. I mean, when you go to Miami and it's pancake flat and you're running on the road, it's way less interesting. But when you're going into some interesting environments, like when I went to the ridgeline in Hawaii and doing that like 7 mile hike, I was pretty fascinated with what the results turned out to be. This feature is semi-unique to Strava. All Trails has a similar thing where you could like preview the trail in a 3D aerial look, but it's really not as personalized to you. And this feature is definitely something I might subscribe to when going to a national park or doing something special, similar to how you would subscribe to All Trails if you want an offline map while you're going to a national park. So it has that special use case there that I give it credit for. The trendy thing in technology right now is just to slap AI onto everything, and Strava somehow caught on that trend as well. And boom, here we have Strava AI that's commenting on your runs. And it's not like giving feedback on possible future runs to do. It's not a training plan guide. It's just commenting on your runs. You could probably get very, very similar results if you just took a screenshot of your run and put it into any of the generative AI models. But this one's built into the app, so it must be good. And similar to like Apple Intelligence, for me, AI right now is not really a utility. It's more of just like a comedic effect. You're just like interested on what it has to say because it's new and not really helpful, but it's funny, semi at times. And what it really says is just like, oh, solid run. You held a good heart rate. Oh, you got some elevation gain. Oh, you did like a chill run. Oh, you did faster intervals. And outside of those like phrases that you already know what you did because you did the run, it doesn't really add much. And sometimes it like comments on your description on what you typed out on what this type of run is. So like you said like, oh, I slipped a couple times, and might comment on you slipping. So like, oh, despite you almost slipping out of this run, you did a solid effort. And overall, the AI feature, not something I need and not something I miss now that I don't have the subscription anymore. And I know some people use the Strava subscription for this purpose, for route building, but I honestly never used it for looking at trails or route building at all. Like I could look at the heat map even with the free tier. So you can build routes, like specifically like just a set of routes that you want to do. But if you live in one area for longer than 6 months, you start to memorize just in your head with lion learning of all the different possible route combinations you could do. And I do tend to plan my routes, but I use like how far did I run, and that's a good route planner for me. If I want to do any trails, I tend to go to All Trails first, even though I don't pay for that. It's just a free tier, then the Strava subscription. So that could be one thing that people feature unlock with the subscription that they love to use, but I never found myself using it. One feature that Strava could add that they don't even have in their app that they allow third-party apps to do is one, add weather data to every single run. There's third-party integrations, but Strava could just do that themselves and add that to the subscription tier. You can also add like your personal heat map of your like local city or country, and Strava leaves that to third-party integration. So Strava is leaving some paid features on the table, and if Strava added those things, that would make the subscription even more compelling. So although I love Strava as my favorite running social media app, it's one of my favorite apps in general. I love the developers, like thank you for adding dark mode this past year. And I do want Strava to continue to exist, so if you want to support them, the Strava subscription is probably a great way to do that. Strava app doesn't even have ads, and they could easily go that route. So I'm thankful they don't. I'm probably not going to subscribe for it in the near future unless I really have a stable income and income to just throw around on things like this. but right now I can't really afford it, and the features that are hidden with this free tier just aren't worth it for me to pay up.